If you're thinking about moving to Charleston, South Carolina from another state because you've heard of how amazing it is, you must watch this video to get a quick but informative introduction to the area. We have all the details, including an explanation of surrounding cities and counties and the unique qualities of each. All of the must-know information to figure out which areas may be best for you when you're starting your research.
So we hear a lot of reasons why people choose to move to the Charleston area. For some, it's the warmer weather. Others, it's a change in politics. But for others, it's just due to a job relocation or wanting to be closer to family. So regardless of the reason that you're moving to Charleston, the area is pretty big. So we're going to break it down so you're a little more familiar with the details.
The Charleston area primarily consists within 3 counties: Charleston County, Dorchester County, and Berkeley County. You'll hear this referred to as the Tricounty area. Now, don't get Charleston City and Charleston County confused. Charleston, the city, is located within Charleston County, but there are also other surrounding areas and cities that are also located within Charleston County. What's considered Charleston by address is a large area. Centrally, it starts near the harbor, where you'll find historic homes and streets in most of the tourist areas. This area will serve as our reference point when we refer to other areas in the video. Also considered Charleston is the area west of the harbor. Even though address-wise it is still considered Charleston, you'll rarely hear it referred to as Charleston, but rather just West Ashley. And that's a fitting name since it is west of the Ashley River. This area is considered more of a suburb of the actual city instead of a continuation of the city itself. Highway 17, or as we call it, Savannah Highway, will take you all the way through West Ashley. People love West Ashley for the proximity to the water and the city. And here you'll find a lot of established neighborhoods, mature trees, and local businesses speckled with coastal views and marshes.
So from West Ashley, if you venture towards the water about 10 or 15 minutes, you'll be on James Island. And it's one of Charleston's barrier islands, and it's a bustling community. There you'll find a mix of established residential neighborhoods and commercial businesses as well. And best of all, it's home to our wonderful Folly Beach. So moving on, if you drive straight up I-26 from the harbor for about 15 minutes, you'll be in North Charleston. Now the name is tricky because it's a completely separate municipality than Charleston. It's primarily in Charleston County, but there's a small portion of Dorchester County as well. So North Charleston is a large area with a diverse mix of neighborhoods and shopping developments. And you'll find the airport, the Charleston Coliseum, the Tanger Outlets, and my favorite, which is Topgolf. This area has a more commerce and commercial presence, being home to some of the larger employers such as Boeing. So housing-wise, you'll find a mix of well-established neighborhoods undergoing revitalization, and also newer neighborhoods as well.
Just adjacent to North Charleston, you'll find 2 smaller cities, Goose Creek and Hanahan, both of which are in Berkeley County. We'd say both of these areas are more residential than North Charleston. Hanahan is closer to Charleston and a bit more established. Goose Creek has some large residential developments, and commercial development is still booming. Moving directly east of the harbor via the Ravenel Bridge, you'll be in Berkeley County and the lovely city of Mount Pleasant. It is a fairly large area that has continued to grow and expand eastward. People love Mount Pleasant for its proximity to the water and the wide variety of commercial businesses. The beach of the Isle of Palms is just a short drive across the IOP connector. This area has a great mix of established and commercial developments along with many newer ones. Shem Creek is a popular commercial area with water views, and many of the residential areas also have water and marsh views.
So we warned you that Charleston is a large area, so don't leave yet. There's only a couple more areas to cover, and we'll be really quick. So Ladson is nestled in the northwest area of North Charleston, and it's between Summerville and Goose Creek. So it's primarily residential with some neighborhood type commercial development in there. Outside of this, we don't feel that Ladson really has its own identity. It's a great area to live in, being very centrally located and having established neighborhoods and newer neighborhoods.
Now, let's talk about Moncks Corner. It's located northeast of the harbor and is a growing and developing area. When I think of Moncks Corner, I think of romantic cypress-filled swamps and kind of think about that boat scene in the movie The Notebook. It was filmed here. Moncks Corner is the home to the beautiful, attracted Cypress Gardens, and that happens to be exactly where that scene was filmed. People love Moncks Corner because even though it's a little further out, the proximity to water is phenomenal. It sits between the Cooper River on one side and Lake Moultrie on the other. We'd say Moncks Corner is definitely a residential area, but commercial growth is happening fast here.
All right, so you stayed with us this long. So last but not least, Summerville is our personal favorite. We might be a little biased, but because it's where we live. So what surprises most people about Summerville is how big it is. It's primarily in Dorchester and Berkeley counties, but there's a little area that's in Charleston County. So to drive from one end of Summerville to the other end takes about 45 minutes with no traffic.
Due to its size, the areas of Summerville are all very diverse. Both residential and commercial new construction is booming here. And somehow, despite its size and recent growth, it still has maintained a small town feeling which people love. I think one of the reasons for this is the central town square area. Residents love parking downtown and taking a stroll through the local shops and restaurants and participating in local events and festivals held here.
All right, so that wraps up our overview of Charleston and its surrounding areas. And if you're considering moving here, as a rule of thumb, the areas closer to the harbor and the water, the more expensive. So this would be Charleston, West Ashley, Mount Pleasant, and James Island. So while, of course, there are always exceptions, the further from the water you get, prices are a little more affordable and you get a little bit more for your money.
If you're interested in learning more about Summerville, our next video covers it in a little more detail. In it, you'll learn 12 things you need to know before moving to Summerville, a few positives and a few negatives.
And as always, if you have any questions about Charleston or the surrounding areas, please reach out to us. We want to be your community and real estate experts.